For 3 years, Marcus Chin stood in the shadows, protecting the world's most famous billionaire. He watched Elon Musk build rockets, create electric cars, and dream of Mars. But every night, when the cameras stopped rolling and the meetings ended, Elon would disappear. Where did the richest man on Earth go when no one was watching? What was he hiding from his own board of directors? And why did it involve a 7-year-old girl with brain cancer who would change everything? Marcus kept this secret until it destroyed him. Now, 6 months after being fired, he's ready to tell the truth. The truth about Emma Rodriguez. The truth about what really happens when a dying child asks a billionaire to take her to Mars. The truth about the night everything went wrong. What Marcus reveals will shock reporters, crash stock markets, and prove that sometimes the smallest person can change the biggest heart. This is the story the world never knew it needed to hear. Marcus Chin's hands shake as he holds his coffee cup. The Austin morning sun streams through the windows of Radio Coffee on Barton Springs Road. He chose this place because it's quiet, because no one would look for him here. For 3 years, Marcus protected the world's most famous billionaire. He stood next to Elon Musk at Tesla factories. He followed him to SpaceX launches. He knew every secret meeting, every phone call, every late-night decision that changed the world. But there's one secret that's been eating him alive for 6 months. "I can't do this anymore," Marcus whispers to himself. His phone sits on the small wooden table. One call. That's all it would take to change everything. He dials the number he's been staring at for weeks. Austin American Statesman, this is Sarah Williams. "Ms. Williams, my name is Marcus Chin. I used to work for Elon Musk. I have a story that will shock the world." Sarah Williams has been a reporter for 15 years. She's heard every crazy story, every wild claim about celebrities and billionaires. But something in Marcus's voice makes her listen. "What kind of story?" she asks. "The kind that shows who Elon Musk really is when the cameras aren't rolling. The kind that will make people cry." 2 hours later, Sarah sits across from Marcus in the same coffee shop. She's brought her notebook, her digital recorder, and a feeling that this might be the biggest story of her career. Marcus looks tired. His eyes are red. His security guard uniform is wrinkled. This is not the same man who once stood behind Elon Musk at press conferences, looking strong and confident. "Tell me why I should believe you," Sarah says. She's learned to be careful. Too many people want to lie about famous people. Marcus pulls out his phone. He shows Sarah hundreds of photos. Elon Musk in places no one has ever seen him. Elon Musk doing things that would surprise the world. "I took these pictures over 3 years," Marcus says. "I was his personal bodyguard. I went everywhere with him. I saw everything." Sarah looks at the photos. They show Elon in hospital hallways. Elon talking to children. Elon crying in empty rooms. These aren't fake. These are real moments that no one else has seen. "Why are you telling me this now?" Sarah asks. Marcus takes a deep breath. "Because I was fired 6 months ago. Because I've been keeping a secret that's too big to keep. Because kids are suffering, and the world needs to know what Elon is really doing about it." Sarah leans forward. "What secret?" Every night, after all the meetings and Twitter posts, Elon would disappear. He told his staff he was going home to his mansion in Austin. He told his security team he wanted to be alone. Everyone thought he was just tired from working 18-hour days. Marcus pauses. He looks around the coffee shop to make sure no one is listening. But that wasn't true. He wasn't going home. He was going somewhere else. Somewhere no one knew about. Sarah's heart starts beating faster. Where? Dell Children's Medical Center. Every single night for 3 years. He would park in the back. He would use a key that only he had. He would disappear inside for hours. Sarah blinks. "The Children's Hospital? What?" "That's what I'm going to tell you. But first, you need to understand something. This isn't a story about a billionaire trying to look good. This isn't about publicity, or tax breaks, or making people like him." Marcus's voice gets softer. "This is about a man who met a little girl named Emma Rodriguez. She was 7 years old. She had brain cancer. She wrote him a letter asking if she could go to Mars before she died." Sarah feels goosebumps on her arms. "What happened to Emma?" "She died 2 years ago. But before she died, she changed Elon Musk forever. She made him realize that all his rockets and cars don't mean anything if kids like her can't be saved." Marcus shows Sarah a photo on his phone. It's a drawing of a rocket ship made with crayons. Written at the top in a child's handwriting are the words, Emma's Mars mission. Elon carries this drawing with him everywhere. Marcus says, it's in his wallet right now. He's shown it to me 100 times. Every time he looks at it, he cries. Sarah stares at the drawing. It's beautiful and heartbreaking at the same time. Tell me about the hospital visits. For 3 years, Elon has been visiting children with cancer. Not just Emma, dozens of kids. He built them special rooms where they could feel like they were traveling to space. He paid for their treatments. He gave them hope when they had none. Marcus's voice starts to break. But 6 months ago, someone found out. Someone leaked the story to the media, but they got it all wrong. They said Elon was wasting money. They said he was using sick kids for publicity. Sarah writes everything down. What really happened? Elon was destroyed. He thought he was helping these kids by keeping it secret. He thought if the world knew, reporters would bother the families. He thought the kids would become circus acts. Marcus wipes his eyes. So he stopped visiting. He thought he was protecting them. But the kids didn't understand. They thought he abandoned them. Parents started calling, asking where he went. That's when I knew I had to do something. Marcus continues. I couldn't watch these kids suffer. I couldn't let the world think Elon Musk was a villain when he was actually a hero. Sarah looks at her notes. But you said you were fired. What happened? Marcus's face gets red. I made a mistake. I tried to help by talking to a reporter without Elon's permission. I thought I could make people understand. But it made everything worse. Elon fired me immediately. He said I betrayed his trust. He said I put the kids in danger. He was right. Sarah sees the pain in Marcus's eyes. So why are you talking to me now? Marcus pulls out his phone again. He shows Sarah a text message from a number she doesn't recognize. The message says, Mr. Marcus, this is Dr. Wong at Dell Children's Hospital. We need to talk. It's about the kids. It's urgent. I got this text yesterday, Marcus says. Dr. Wong was Emma's doctor. She's been taking care of the kids in Elon's program. She told me something that made me realize I had to speak up again. Sarah waits. She said Elon came back. He's visiting the kids again. But now he's different. He's sadder. He doesn't smile as much. The kids can see it. They think they did something wrong. Marcus's voice gets stronger. Dr. Wong said one little boy asked her, why does Mr. Elon look so sad? Did we make him sad? Sarah feels tears in her eyes. What did she tell him? She told him that Mr. Elon was sad because some people didn't understand how much he loved them. She told him that Mr. Elon needed their help to be happy again. Marcus looks directly at Sarah. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm telling you this story. Because those kids need the world to know the truth. They need to know that their hero isn't broken. They need to know that people understand what he's really doing. Sarah closes her notebook. Marcus, this is an incredible story. But I have to ask, do you have proof? Can you show me that everything you're saying is true? Marcus nods. I have videos. I have documents. I have phone records. I have everything. But most importantly, I have something else. What? I have Elon's permission to tell this story. He called me last week. He said he's ready for the world to know the truth. He said he's tired of hiding. He said Emma would want people to know what he's been doing. Sarah's eyes widen. He wants you to tell this story. He's planning something big. Something that will change everything. He's going to make an announcement next week that will shock the world. Marcus leans across the table. But first, he wants people to understand why he's doing it. He wants them to know about Emma and all the other kids. He wants them to know that this isn't about money or fame. It's about love. Sarah picks up her pen again. Tell me everything, Marcus. Start from the beginning. Tell me about the first time Elon met Emma Rodriguez. Marcus smiles for the first time since Sarah arrived. That's a story that will make you believe in miracles again. Marcus Chun wasn't always a bodyguard. 3 years ago, he was Officer Marcus Chun of the San Francisco Police Department. He had been a cop for 8 years. He loved his job protecting people and keeping the streets safe. That all changed on a rainy Tuesday in March 2021. I was working the night shift, Marcus tells Sarah. Around 2 a.m., we got a call about someone trying to break into the Tesla factory in Fremont. Some crazy fan wanted to steal a car or meet Elon Musk. Marcus remembers that night clearly. The man had climbed over the fence and was trying to break into the main building. He had a backpack full of tools and a notebook filled with weird drawings of Elon Musk. When I got there, the guy was already inside the building. Security guards were chasing him. He was screaming about how he needed to talk to Elon about saving the world. Sarah writes down every word. Was Elon Musk there? That's the crazy part. It was 2 a.m., but Elon was still working. He never sleeps. The guy found him in his office and wouldn't leave. He kept saying he had important ideas about electric cars. Marcus and his partner had to arrest the man. But Elon Musk did something surprising. Instead of being angry, he felt sorry for the guy. Elon told us the man wasn't dangerous. He was just lonely and wanted to help. Elon even gave him his business card and told him to send his ideas by email instead of breaking into buildings. After the police took the man away, Elon walked up to Marcus. "You handled that really well," Elon said. "You were firm but kind. That's not easy to do." Marcus had never met anyone famous before. He was nervous. "Just doing my job, Mr. Musk. Call me Elon. And I have a question for you. How would you like a new job?" Marcus thought Elon was joking. "What kind of job? I need someone to protect me. Someone who understands that not everyone who wants to meet me is dangerous. Someone who can tell the difference between a real threat and just a confused person who needs help." Sarah looks up from her notes. "He offered you a job right there? Right there in the parking lot at 3 a.m. He said he would pay me 3 times what I made as a cop. He said I could move to Austin with my family. He said it would be the most interesting job I'd ever have." Marcus was married to Linda, a school teacher. They had 2 kids, Michael, age 10, and Jessica, age 8. The money would change their lives. I told him I needed to talk to my wife. He said take all the time I needed. Then he gave me his personal phone number and told me to call him when I decided. 2 weeks later, Marcus called Elon and said yes. In May 2021, the Chin family moved to Austin, Texas. Marcus became Elon Musk's personal bodyguard. The first day was crazy. Marcus tells Sarah, "Elon picked me up at 6 a.m. He was wearing jeans and a t-shirt that said Mars or Bust. He looked like a regular guy, not the richest person in the world. Elon drove a simple Tesla Model S, not a fancy car with bulletproof glass. He told me he didn't want to feel like a prisoner in his own life. He wanted to go places and meet people without feeling scared." Marcus learned quickly that protecting Elon Musk was different from protecting other famous people. Elon didn't want to hide from the world. He wanted to be part of it. Most days, we would visit Tesla factories or SpaceX offices. Elon would talk to engineers and workers. He would ask them about their families and their ideas. He remembered everyone's names. But Marcus noticed something strange. Every few days, Elon would get quiet and sad. He would stare out the window during car rides. He would check his phone constantly, like he was waiting for important news. One day in August 2021, Elon got a phone call that changed everything. We were eating lunch at a taco truck near the Tesla factory. His phone rang, and when he answered his face went white. Sarah leans forward. Who was calling? A woman named Dr. Patricia Wong from Dell Children's Medical Center in Austin. She said a little girl had written Elon a letter. The letter was very special, and Dr. Wong thought Elon should see it. Elon asked Dr. Wong to read the letter over the phone. Marcus watched as Elon listened. Tears started rolling down his face. When the call ended, Elon didn't say anything for 10 minutes. He just sat there crying. Finally, he told me to drive to the children's hospital. He said we had someone very important to meet. Marcus had never seen his boss like this. Elon was always confident and strong. But that day, he looked scared and excited at the same time. We drove to Dell Children's Medical Center. It's a big, modern hospital in central Austin. Elon had been there before for charity events, but this was different. This was personal. Dr. Wong met them at the front desk. She was a small woman with kind eyes and gray hair. She had been a children's cancer doctor for 20 years. Dr. Wong took us to the 7th floor. That's where the kids with cancer stay. The hallway was painted with pictures of rockets and planets and stars. It was beautiful, but also very sad. Sarah can picture the scene in her mind. What was in the letter? Dr. Wong showed us the letter before we met the little girl. It was written on notebook paper with a purple crayon. The handwriting was shaky because the girl was very sick. Marcus remembers every word of that letter. Dear Mr. Elon Musk, my name is Emma Rodriguez. I am 7 years old. I have brain cancer. The doctors say I might die soon. But before I die, I want to go to Mars with you. I have lots of ideas about rockets. I drew you some pictures. Please can you help me go to space? I promise I will be a good astronaut. Love, Emma. Elon read that letter 3 times. Marcus says, Each time, he cried harder. Finally, he asked Dr. Wong, "Can I meet her?" Dr. Wong led them to room 314. Inside was a little girl with no hair. From her cancer treatments. She was tiny and pale, but her eyes were bright and full of life. Emma saw Elon and screamed with joy. "You're really here. You got my letter." She had been waiting for him like he was Santa Claus. Emma's parents, Maria and Carlos Rodriguez, were sitting next to her bed. They were young and tired. They had been living at the hospital for months while Emma got treatment. Emma's dad worked at a restaurant. Her mom cleaned houses. They had no money for the expensive treatments Emma needed. They were scared and sad, but they were trying to be strong for their daughter. Elon sat down next to Emma's bed. She showed him a folder full of drawings she had made. Pictures of rocket ships and planets and astronauts. Some drawings showed Emma flying through space with Elon. Emma was so smart, Marcus says. Even though she was only 7 and very sick, she asked Elon amazing questions about rockets and Mars. She had ideas about how to make spaceships better. Elon spent 2 hours with Emma that first day. He answered all her questions. He told her stories about SpaceX and Tesla. He promised her that someday, kids like her would be able to go to space. When it was time to leave, Emma asked Elon a question that broke his heart. She said, "Mr. Elon, when I die, will you still remember me?" Marcus wipes his eyes. Elon took her small hand in his big hands. He said, "Emma, you're not going to die. You're going to beat this sickness. And when you do, you're going to fly to Mars with me. That's a promise." But as they walked back to the car, Dr. Wong pulled Elon aside. "Mr. Musk, I need to be honest with you. Emma's cancer is very bad. She probably has less than 6 months to live. We're doing everything we can." But Elon stopped walking. He looked back at the hospital. Then he said something I'll never forget. He said, "Dr. Wong, 6 months is enough time to make dreams come true." Sarah looks at her notes. What did he mean? That's when everything changed, Marcus says. That night, Elon couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Emma and her drawings. He kept thinking about her question, would he remember her when she died? The next morning, Elon made a decision that would change his life forever. He decided that Emma wasn't going to die without seeing the stars. Marcus pauses. But first, he had to figure out how to bring space to a little girl who was too sick to travel. That's when the secret visits started. Sarah realizes she's been holding her breath. How often did he visit? Every single night for the next 8 months. Until Emma died. And then he kept visiting for all the other kids who needed him. Marcus's voice gets softer. But what Elon did for Emma during those 8 months, that's when you'll really understand what kind of man he is. That's when you'll see the miracle I was talking about. Sarah looks at the clock. They've been talking for 2 hours, but it feels like minutes. Tell me about those 8 months, Marcus. Tell me about the miracle. Marcus takes a deep breath. The miracle wasn't just that Emma got to see space before she died. The miracle was how she changed Elon Musk from a businessman into something much more important. What's that? A father to every sick child in the world. Emma Rodriguez was not like other 7-year-old girls. While most kids her age were learning to read simple books, Emma was solving math problems that college students couldn't figure out. Even with brain cancer making her weak and tired, her mind was sharp as a rocket scientist's. Emma's parents told me she started talking when she was only 10 months old. Marcus explains to Sarah. By age 3, she was reading chapter books. By age 5, she was doing algebra. Her teachers said she was the smartest kid they'd ever seen. But Emma didn't care about being smart. She only cared about one thing, going to space. Her bedroom at home was covered with pictures of planets and rockets. Marcus continues. She had model spaceships hanging from the ceiling. She made her parents buy her every book about space they could find. When Emma was 6 years old, her parents noticed she was getting terrible headaches. She would wake up crying in the middle of the night. Sometimes she would throw up for no reason. Maria and Carlos Rodriguez took her to doctor after doctor. The doctors in their small town in East Austin didn't know what was wrong, Marcus says. Emma's family didn't have much money. Her dad, Carlos, worked 2 jobs, washing dishes at a restaurant during the day and cleaning offices at night. Her mom, Maria, cleaned houses for rich families. Finally, a doctor sent Emma for special tests at Dell Children's Medical Center. The test showed something terrible. Emma had a brain tumor the size of a golf ball. It was cancer, and it was growing fast. Dr. Patricia Wong was the doctor who had to tell Emma's parents the bad news, Marcus says. She told me later that it was one of the hardest conversations she'd ever had. Maria started crying so hard she couldn't breathe. Carlos just sat there in shock. But Emma surprised everyone. When Dr. Wong explained that she had cancer, Emma asked just one question. Does this mean I can't be an astronaut anymore? Dr. Wong didn't know what to say. The truth was that Emma would probably die within a year. But looking at this brave little girl, she couldn't destroy her dreams. Dr. Wong told Emma that astronauts have to be very strong and brave. She said Emma was already showing she had what it takes. Emma smiled. Good, because I'm going to Mars. Someday, I'm going to be the first kid to walk on another planet. The treatments started immediately. Emma had to get chemotherapy 3 times a week. The medicine made her feel sick and tired. Worst of all, it made her beautiful black hair fall out. Emma cried when her hair started falling out, Marcus says. Not because she cared how she looked, but because she was afraid the other astronauts wouldn't recognize her when she got to Mars. Her parents bought her a special hat that looked like an astronaut helmet. Emma wore it everywhere. She said it helped her practice for when she would wear a real space helmet during her long days. At the hospital, Emma drew pictures. Hundreds of pictures of rockets and planets and space adventures. She would show them to anyone who would look, doctors, nurses, other patients, even the people who cleaned the floors. One day in July 2021, Emma decided to write a letter to Elon Musk, Marcus says. She had seen him on TV talking about going to Mars. She thought maybe he would let her come along. Emma's letter was different from the thousands of fan letters that famous people get every day. It wasn't asking for money or autographs. It was asking for something much more important, hope. Emma spent 3 days writing that letter. Marcus explains. She wrote it over and over until it was perfect. She wanted to make sure Elon would understand how much space meant to her. Emma's mom, Maria, helped her mail the letter to Tesla's headquarters in Austin. They didn't expect anyone to read it. Big companies get so much mail that most letters get thrown away, but Emma's letter was special. When it arrived at Tesla, the person who opened the mail was moved by Emma's drawings and her innocent words. Instead of throwing it away, they sent it to someone higher up. That person sent it to someone even higher up. Finally, the letter reached Gwynne Shotwell, the president of SpaceX. Gwynne read Emma's letter and immediately called Dr. Wong at Dell Children's Hospital. When Dr. Wong got that call, she couldn't believe it, Marcus says. A real SpaceX executive was asking about one of her patients. Gwynne wanted to know if Emma's story was true. Dr. Wong told Gwynne everything. About Emma's genius mind. About her love of space. About how brave she was during her treatments. About how she never complained, even when she was in terrible pain. Gwynne was so moved that she called Elon Musk personally. Marcus continues. She read him Emma's letter over the phone. She told him about this amazing little girl who dreamed of Mars, even while fighting for her life. That's when Elon made the phone call that changed everything. He called Dr. Wong and asked to meet Emma immediately. The day Elon first met Emma was magical, Marcus says. Emma had been feeling very sick that morning. The cancer was making her weak, and she could barely sit up in bed. But when the nurse told Emma that Elon Musk was coming to see her, something amazing happened. Emma sat up straight. Her eyes got bright. She asked her mom to help her put on her astronaut helmet hat. When Elon walked into room 314, Emma's face lit up like a Christmas tree. Marcus remembers. She had been waiting her whole short life for this moment. Emma showed Elon every single one of her drawings. She explained her ideas for making rockets faster and safer. She told him about her plans for growing food on Mars. Some of her ideas were so smart that Elon took notes. The thing that amazed Elon the most was how Emma never talked about being sick, Marcus says. She only talked about the future. She talked about all the things she was going to do when she got better. During that first visit, Emma asked Elon if he would be her friend. She said she didn't have many friends because she spent so much time in the hospital. Elon looked at this tiny, brave girl and made a promise that would change his life, Marcus says. He told Emma that he would be her best friend. He told her that they would explore space together. Before he left that day, Elon asked Emma what she wanted most in the whole world. Emma thought for a moment. I want to see Earth from space, she said. I want to see how beautiful our planet looks from far away. Elon knelt down next to her bed. Emma, I'm going to make that happen for you. I promise. Dr. Wong pulled Elon aside as he was leaving. Mr. Musk, you need to understand. Emma's cancer is very aggressive. We're doing everything we can, but the truth is, she probably won't live to see her 8th birthday. Elon looked back at Emma's room. Through the window, he could see her showing her drawings to her parents. She was smiling and laughing, even though she was dying. Dr. Wong, Elon said, how long do we have? Maybe 6 months. Maybe less. Elon was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something that Dr. Wong would never forget. 6 months is enough. Time to take someone to space. Dr. Wong looked confused. Mr. Musk, Emma can't travel. She's too sick for space flight. It's impossible. Elon smiled. Dr. Wong, I don't believe in impossible. I believe in finding new ways to make dreams come true. That night, Elon couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Emma's smile and her drawings of Mars. He kept thinking about her question, did having cancer mean she couldn't be an astronaut anymore? At 3 a.m., Elon called me. Marcus says. He told me to meet him at his office immediately. He said he had the most important project of his life to plan. When Marcus arrived at Tesla's headquarters, he found Elon surrounded by papers and laptops. There were drawings of spaceships and planets spread all over his desk. Marcus, Elon said, we're going to build something that's never been built before. We're going to bring space to Emma. Marcus looked confused. What do you mean, boss? We're going to build a virtual reality system so real that Emma will feel like she's actually traveling to Mars. We're going to make her dream come true, even if she can't leave her hospital bed. Marcus realized that this wasn't just about helping one little girl. This was about proving that no dream is too big, no dreamer too small. That's when the secret project began. Marcus tells Sarah. Elon started working 18 hours a day on 2 different things, running his companies and building a miracle for Emma. Sarah looks at her notes. What kind of miracle? The kind that would make a dying 7-year-old girl believe she really was flying through space. The kind that would give her hope when everyone else had given up. Marcus pauses. But building a miracle isn't easy. And keeping it secret was even harder. Building Emma's virtual reality space room was the biggest secret project Elon Musk had ever attempted. It was harder than building the first Tesla car. It was more complicated than launching rockets to the International Space Station. And it had to be perfect. Elon hired the best engineers from SpaceX, Tesla, and even video game companies, Marcus tells Sarah. But he couldn't tell them what the project was really for. He just said it was a new kind of training system for astronauts. The project had a code name, Stardust. Only 5 people knew the real reason they were building it. Elon, Marcus, Dr. Wong, and 2 top engineers named Jake Martinez and Lisa Chun. Jake was a virtual reality expert from California. Lisa was a space engineer who had worked on the Mars rover missions, Marcus explains. They were the best in the world at what they did. For 3 months, the team worked day and night. They built a special room inside Dell Children's Hospital. It looked like a real spaceship cockpit. There were screens on every wall showing stars and planets. There was a chair that could move and spin to make Emma feel like she was really flying through space. The technology was incredible, Marcus says. When Emma put on the special VR goggles, she could see Mars up close. She could walk on the surface and pick up rocks. She could fly past Jupiter and see its giant red storm. But the most amazing part was that Emma could control everything. She could pilot her own spaceship. She could choose which planets to visit. She could even design her own space stations and watch them being built. The first time Emma tried the system, she cried. Marcus remembers. But they were happy tears. She said it felt more real than real life. Emma spent hours every day in her space room. When she was too sick for chemotherapy, she would travel to Mars. When she couldn't sleep because of pain, she would fly past Saturn's rings. When she felt scared about dying, she would visit a space station where she was the commander. Dr. Wong said Emma's health actually got better for a while, Marcus says. The space room gave her something to live for. It gave her hope. But secrets are hard to keep in a hospital. Soon, other children on the cancer ward heard about Emma's special room. They wanted to see it too. That's when something beautiful happened. Marcus continues. Elon could have said no. He could have kept the room just for Emma, but he didn't. 8-year-old Tommy Williams was in the room next to Emma's. He had leukemia, a different kind of cancer that made him very weak. Tommy loved cars more than anything else. His dream was to race in the Indianapolis 500. Tommy asked Emma if he could try her space room. Marcus says. Emma said yes, but only if Mr. Elon said it was okay. When Elon visited that night, Emma told him about Tommy. She asked if her friend could use the space room too. Elon looked at this generous little girl who was sharing her miracle with someone else. Marcus says. That's when he realized something important. This wasn't just about Emma anymore. The next week, Elon expanded the project. He built a second VR system for Tommy. But instead of space, Tommy's system was all about racing cars. Tommy could drive Tesla race cars on famous tracks around the world. He could design his own cars and race them against other drivers. When Tommy first tried his racing system, he screamed with joy. Marcus remembers. He had never felt so alive. Word spread quickly through the hospital. Soon, 6 more children wanted their own special VR systems. There was Sophia, age 9, who wanted to be an engineer and build bridges. There was David, age 7, who loved ocean animals and wanted to swim with whales. There was Maya, age 10, who wanted to be a teacher and help other kids learn. Each child got their own custom system. Marcus explains. Sophia could build virtual bridges and test them with earthquakes and storms. David could swim in virtual oceans and study real sea creatures. Maya could teach classes to virtual students from around the world. Elon was spending millions of dollars on these systems. He was using his own money, not company money, but he didn't care about the cost. Every night, Elon would visit each child. Marcus says he would spend time with them in their virtual worlds. He would encourage them and celebrate their achievements. The children started calling themselves Elon's astronauts, even though not all of them were interested in space. They were a special club of kids who had virtual superpowers. The amazing thing was how the children helped each other. Marcus continues. Emma would visit Tommy in his racing world. Tommy would join Sophia while she built bridges. They became best friends, even though they were all fighting different types of cancer. But keeping the project secret was getting harder every day. Hospital staff noticed all the construction and new equipment. Other parents wondered why some children got special treatment. Elon made everyone sign very strict agreements. Marcus says, doctors, nurses, cleaning staff, security guards, everyone promised not to talk about what they saw. The hospital administrators knew about the project, but Elon asked them to keep it quiet. He was worried that if the media found out, reporters would bother the children and their families. Elon had seen what happened to other sick kids who became famous, Marcus explains. Their hospital rooms got crowded with cameras and reporters. The kids couldn't get better in peace. But the hardest part wasn't keeping the secret from the media. The hardest part was keeping it from Elon's own companies. People at Tesla and SpaceX started asking questions. Marcus says, where was Elon every night? Why was he spending so much money on mysterious projects? Why did he seem distracted during important meetings? Some Tesla executives thought Elon was having a mental breakdown. Stock prices started to drop because investors were worried about Elon's behavior. His brother Kimball confronted him. Marcus remembers. Kimball said people were starting to think Elon couldn't handle running his companies anymore. But Elon wouldn't explain what he was doing. He just said it was important personal business. The stress was enormous. Marcus says. Elon was working 20 hours a day, 12 hours on Tesla and SpaceX, 8 hours with the kids. He barely slept. He lost weight. He looked exhausted all the time. Sarah looks up from her notes. Why didn't he just tell people what he was doing? It sounds like wonderful work. Because he was protecting the children, Marcus answers. He had learned that when famous people help sick kids, it often becomes more about the famous person than about the kids. He wanted this to be about Emma and Tommy and the others, not about him. But in December 2021, something happened that changed everything. Emma's health took a terrible turn for the worse. The cancer had spread, Marcus says quietly. Dr. Wong told Elon that Emma had maybe 2 months left to live. That's when Elon made a decision that almost cost him everything. He decided to give Emma the one thing she wanted most, a real view of Earth from space, Marcus says. But Emma was too sick to travel to a rocket. So Elon decided to bring the rocket to her. Sarah's pen stops moving. What do you mean? He was going to launch a real satellite with Emma's name on it. He was going to broadcast the launch live to her hospital room. and he was going to delay other SpaceX missions to make it happen. Marcus pauses. That's when his board of directors found out about everything, and they were furious. The phone call came at 6 a.m. on January 15th, 2022. Dr. Patricia Wong's voice was shaking when she delivered the news that would break Elon Musk's heart. "Mr. Musk, you need to come to the hospital right away. Emma's condition has gotten much worse overnight. She's asking for you." Marcus was driving Elon to a Tesla board meeting when the call came. He watched his boss's face turn white as he listened to Dr. Wong's words. "Cancel everything," Elon told Marcus immediately. "Cancel the board meeting. Cancel my calls with NASA. Cancel everything for the next week." But Marcus knew they couldn't cancel the board meeting. Tesla's directors had been planning this meeting for months. They were already angry about Elon's mysterious disappearances and strange spending. If he didn't show up, there would be serious trouble. "Boss, the board meeting is really important," Marcus said carefully. "They're already suspicious about where you've been going every night." Elon stared out the car window. "Marcus, a little girl is dying. She's more important than any meeting." When they arrived at Dell Children's Medical Center, Dr. Wong met them. At Emma's room, the difference in Emma was shocking. Just 2 weeks ago, she had been laughing and playing in her virtual space room. Now she could barely keep her eyes open. "The cancer has spread to her spine," Dr. Wong explained quietly. "She's in a lot of pain. We're doing everything we can to keep her comfortable." Emma's parents, Maria and Carlos, looked exhausted. They had been sleeping in chairs next to Emma's bed for 3 days. When they saw Elon, Maria started crying. "Mr. Musk, thank you for coming," Carlos said. "Emma has been asking for you all night." Elon sat down next to Emma's bed. Her small hand found his much larger one. "Mr. Elon," Emma whispered, "I don't think I'm going to make it to Mars." Elon felt tears rolling down his face. "Emma, you're the bravest astronaut I know. We're going to figure this out together." Emma smiled weakly. "Can I tell you a secret?" "Of course. I'm not scared of dying. I'm just sad that I won't get to see Earth from space like we talked about." That's when Elon made a promise that would change everything. "Emma, what if I told you that you could see Earth from space? What if we could make that happen in the next few weeks?" Emma's eyes got a little brighter. "Really? Really? But it's going to be our biggest adventure yet." Later that day, Elon called an emergency meeting with his top engineers at SpaceX. He told them he wanted to launch a small satellite in 3 weeks instead of the planned launch in 6 months. "That's impossible, boss," said Tom Mueller, SpaceX's chief engineer. "We need at least 2 months to prepare a launch safely." "Then we work 24 hours a day," Elon replied. "Whatever it takes." Gwynne Shotwell, SpaceX's president, looked concerned. "Elon, moving up a launch by 3 months will cost millions of dollars. We have contracts with other companies. We can't just change the schedule." "I'll pay the extra costs myself," Elon said, "and I'll handle the contracts." The engineers were confused. Why was their boss suddenly rushing a satellite launch? What was so important that he would spend millions of his own money? "There's a little girl who needs to see this launch," Elon explained. "She needs to know that her dreams matter. That's all I can tell you right now." Meanwhile, Tesla's board of directors were getting more worried about Elon's behavior. When he missed the important board meeting to be with Emma, they decided to take action. "We called an emergency board meeting," Marcus explains to Sarah. All the big investors were there. Kimball Musk, Elon's brother, was there. They were really angry. The meeting was held at Tesla's headquarters in Austin. Elon arrived 2 hours late, still wearing the same clothes from the hospital. "Where have you been?" demanded Larry Ellison, one of Tesla's biggest investors. "You missed our scheduled meeting this morning. You've been disappearing for months. The stock price is dropping because people think you're not focused on the company." Elon sat down at the conference table. He looked tired and sad. "I've been helping someone who needed me." "Who?" asked Robin Denholm, Tesla's board chair. "What's more important than running this company?" Elon was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "A 7-year-old girl with cancer." The room went silent. Nobody knew what to say. "Her name is Emma Rodriguez," Elon continued. "She wrote me a letter asking if she could go to Mars before she dies. For the past 6 months, I've been trying to make her dreams come true." Kimball Musk, Elon's brother, spoke first. "Elon, that's very nice. But you can't let one sick child distract you from running a billion-dollar company. You have responsibilities to shareholders and employees." "You don't understand," Elon said. "This isn't a distraction. This is the most important thing I've ever done." He told the board about Emma's virtual reality room. He told them about the other children he was helping. He explained how much money he was spending from his own pocket. "You've spent $12 million on hospital equipment?" asked another board member. "Without telling us." "It's my money," Elon replied. "And it's the best money I've ever spent." The board members were worried. They thought Elon was having an emotional breakdown. They thought he was making bad decisions because he was too attached to one sick child. "We think you need to step back from this situation," Robin Denholm said. "Maybe take a vacation. Get some therapy. Let us handle the company for a while." Elon stood up from the table. "You think I'm crazy for caring about a dying child? We think you're not thinking clearly," Larry Ellison said. "This company affects millions of people's jobs and retirement savings. You can't risk all of that for one little girl." That's when Elon made an announcement that shocked everyone in the room. "I'm moving up the next SpaceX launch by 3 months. I'm launching a satellite with Emma's name on it. I'm broadcasting the launch live to her hospital room. And I'm paying for all of it myself." The board members looked at each other with concern. "Elon, that's going to cost at least $50 million, Kimball said. "And it's going to delay other customers' satellites. Some of them might sue us." "Then they can sue me personally," Elon replied. "But Emma is going to see her satellite launch into space." Robin Denholm tried one more time. "Elon, please think about this rationally. One child's dream isn't worth risking the entire company." Elon looked around the room at all the worried faces. These people had helped him build Tesla and SpaceX. They had supported him through many difficult times. But they didn't understand what Emma meant to him. "If you don't understand why this matters," Elon said quietly, "then you don't understand me." He walked out of the meeting without saying another word. That's when everything started falling apart. Marcus tells Sarah. The board was furious. Some investors threatened to sell their stock. News reporters started asking questions about why Elon was acting so strange. But Elon didn't care about any of that. He had made a promise to a dying little girl, and he was going to keep it no matter what it cost him. For the next 2 weeks, Elon worked like a man possessed, Marcus says. He barely slept. He spent his days pushing his engineers to prepare the satellite launch. He spent his nights with Emma, trying to keep her spirits up while her body got weaker. Emma's satellite was going to be special. It would have her name painted on the side. It would carry a message she had written to other kids fighting cancer. And when it reached space, it would send back pictures of Earth that Emma could see from her hospital bed. The launch was scheduled for February 8th, 2022, Marcus says. But on February 5th, something terrible happened. Sarah looks up from her notes. What? Someone leaked the story to the press. The whole secret came out, and the way they told it made Elon look like he was using a sick child for publicity. Marcus's voice gets heavy. That's when everything truly went wrong. The headline on TMZ's website was cruel and heartless. Elon Musk's crazy obsession. Billionaire wastes millions on sick kid for publicity stunt. Marcus Chun was at home when the story broke on February 5th, 2022. His phone started ringing immediately. News reporters wanted to know if the story was true. They wanted details about Elon's breakdown and his wasteful spending on hospital projects. The story was completely wrong, Marcus tells Sarah, but it spread everywhere within hours. Every news channel picked it up. Social media exploded with people making fun of Elon. The leaked story claimed that Elon was using Emma's illness to make himself look good. It said he was wasting company money on fantasy projects, while Tesla workers were being laid off. It painted him as a selfish billionaire who was playing with a sick child's emotions. None of that was true, Marcus says. Angrily, Elon was using his own money, not company money, and he wasn't doing it for publicity. He was trying to keep it secret, but the damage was done. By noon that day, Tesla's stock price had dropped by 15%. SpaceX customers were calling to ask if their satellite launches would be delayed because of Elon's pet projects. Marcus tried calling Elon, but his phone went straight to voicemail. He drove to Dell Children's Medical Center and found Elon sitting in Emma's room, holding her hand while she slept. "Boss, have you seen the news?" Marcus asked quietly. Elon didn't look up. "I don't care about the news. Emma is dying, and I'm not leaving her side. But the board is calling emergency meetings. The stock is crashing. People are saying you've lost your mind." Elon finally looked at Marcus. His eyes were red from crying. Have I lost my mind, Marcus? Is caring about a 7-year-old girl crazy? Marcus sat down in the chair next to Elon. No, boss. It's the most sane thing you've ever done. But outside the hospital, the world was going crazy. News vans were parked in front of Dell Children's Medical Center. Reporters were trying to interview anyone who would talk to them. The hospital had to hire extra security, Marcus explains. Reporters were trying to sneak into the cancer ward to take pictures of Emma. Dr. Wong was furious. Dr. Wong called a meeting with the hospital's administrators. This is exactly what Mr. Musk was trying to prevent, she said. These children need peace and quiet to heal. They don't need cameras and reporters bothering them. The hospital decided to ban all media from the building. But the damage to Emma's family was already done. Maria and Carlos Rodriguez were overwhelmed, Marcus says. They had never dealt with reporters before. People were calling them at all hours asking for interviews. Some reporters even showed up at their apartment. Carlos Rodriguez was especially upset. He was a quiet man who worked hard to support his family. Suddenly, strangers were asking him personal questions about his daughter's illness and their financial problems. Carlos called Elon and asked him to make the reporters go away. Marcus remembers. But Elon couldn't control the media once the story was out. The worst part was how the story affected the other children in the hospital program. Parents of kids like Tommy Williams and Sofia Martinez started getting phone calls from reporters too. Some families decided to leave the program, Marcus says sadly. They were scared of being in the news. They just wanted their kids to get better in private. Meanwhile, at Tesla headquarters, the situation was getting worse every hour. The board of directors held another emergency meeting without inviting Elon. They were talking about removing him as CEO, Marcus explains. Some board members thought he was too emotionally unstable to run the company. Kimball Musk, Elon's brother, was caught in the middle. He loved his brother, but he was also worried about the company and all the people who worked there. Kimball called Elon and begged him to come to the board meeting. Marcus says. He said they could work something out if Elon would just explain himself properly. But Elon refused to leave Emma's bedside. She's scared, he told Kimball. The reporters and all this attention are making her sicker. I promised her I would stay with her. That's when Kimball made a decision that he would regret forever. He told the board that Elon was too emotionally compromised to make good decisions. For the company, the board voted to temporarily remove Elon from day-to-day operations, Marcus says. They said he could come back when he was thinking more clearly. When Elon got the news, he was devastated. Not because he lost control of his companies, but because he knew what it meant for Emma's satellite launch. The board immediately canceled the SpaceX launch, Marcus explains. They said it was too expensive and too risky. They said the company couldn't afford to waste money on emotional decisions. Elon tried to argue that he was paying for the launch himself, but the board said SpaceX's reputation would be damaged if the launch failed. That's when I saw Elon truly break, Marcus says. He had to go into Emma's room and tell her that her satellite wouldn't be launched after all. Emma was weak, but she understood what Elon was telling her. It's okay, Mr. Elon, she whispered. You tried your best. I know you love me. Elon buried his face in his hands and sobbed. I promised you, Emma. I promised you would see Earth from space. Emma reached out and touched Elon's face with her small hand. Mr. Elon, I don't need a real satellite. I have something better. What's that? I have you. You've been my best friend. You've made me feel special every day. That's better than any satellite. But Elon's problems were just beginning. The next day, someone else leaked even more damaging information to the press. Someone gave reporters copies of contracts and financial records, Marcus says. The stories got even worse. They said Elon had spent over $30 million on fantasy projects while Tesla was cutting jobs. The leak also included audio recordings of Elon talking to the children in the hospital. But the recordings were edited to make him sound unstable and obsessed. The headlines were terrible, Marcus remembers. Elon's mental breakdown caught on tape, and billionaire's dangerous obsession with dying child. Sarah looks up from her notes. Who was leaking all this information? Marcus's face gets dark. Someone who had access to everything. Someone who knew all the details about the hospital program and the satellite launch. Do you know who it was? Marcus nods slowly. It was me. Sarah drops her pen. You. I was the one who leaked the story, Marcus says, his voice full of shame. I was the one who destroyed everything. I was the one who betrayed Emma and Elon when they needed me most. Sarah stares at Marcus in shock. Why? Why would you do that? Marcus takes a deep breath. Because I was desperate. Because my wife Linda had been diagnosed with cancer too. Because the insurance company was refusing to pay for her treatments. Because a tabloid newspaper offered me $500,000 for the inside story. The weight of Marcus's confession hangs in the air like a dark cloud. I thought I was just selling information about a rich man's charity work, Marcus continues. I didn't think they would twist it into something ugly. I didn't think they would hurt Emma and the other kids. Marcus wipes tears from his eyes. I told myself I was doing it to save my wife's life. But the truth is, I was just a coward who sold out the best man I'd ever known. Sarah realizes she's been holding her breath. What happened when Elon found out? He didn't find out right away. It took him 3 days to figure out that I was the leak. When he did, Marcus's voice breaks. When he did, it destroyed what was left of his faith in people. That's when Emma took her final turn for the worse. And that's when Elon made a decision that changed everything forever. Sarah leans forward. What decision? He decided that if the world thought he was crazy for loving a dying child, then he would show them what crazy really looked like. On February 8, 2022, the day Emma's satellite was supposed to launch, Elon Musk walked into SpaceX headquarters at 5 a.m. He wasn't supposed to be there. The board had banned him from making any company decisions. But Elon didn't care about the board anymore. I was waiting in the parking lot when he arrived, Marcus tells Sarah. I knew something big was about to happen. Elon had this look in his eyes that I'd never seen before. Marcus had been trying to call Elon for 3 days, ever since the story leaked. He wanted to confess that he was the one who betrayed them all, but Elon wouldn't answer his phone. When Elon saw me in the parking lot, he stopped walking. Marcus remembers. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he said, I know it was you, Marcus. Marcus felt his stomach drop. Boss, I can explain. No need to explain, Elon said. Calmly, I understand why you did it. Your wife is sick. You needed money. You thought you were helping her. Marcus started crying. I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt Emma. I never meant to hurt you. Elon put his hand on Marcus's shoulder. Marcus, you made a choice. Now I'm going to make one too. Inside the SpaceX building, Elon gathered his top engineers. Tom Mueller, Gwynne Shotwell, and 20 other key employees were called to an emergency meeting. The board thinks they can stop me from launching Emma's satellite, Elon told them. They're wrong. Gwynne Shotwell looked worried. Elon, we can't go against the board's decision. They could fire all of us. Then let them fire us, Elon replied. But we're launching that satellite today, with or without their permission. The engineers looked at each other nervously. They had never seen Elon like this before. He was calm, but there was something dangerous in his voice. Boss, how can we launch without board approval? Asked Tom Mueller. They've locked us out of all the launch systems. Elon smiled. Tom, who do you think designed those systems? Who do you think has the master codes? For the next 6 hours, Elon and his loyal engineers worked to prepare a Falcon 9 rocket for an unauthorized launch. They had to do everything in secret because security cameras were watching them. It was like a movie, Marcus says. Elon's team was sneaking around their own building, trying to launch a rocket without permission from their own company. Meanwhile, at Dell Children's Medical Center, Emma was getting sicker by the hour. Dr. Wong called Elon multiple times, but he couldn't leave the rocket preparation. Emma kept asking for Mr. Elon, Marcus explains. She didn't understand why he wasn't visiting her. Maria and Carlos were trying to keep her spirits up, but she was so weak. At 2 p.m., the Tesla board found out what Elon was doing. Security cameras had caught him and his team preparing the rocket launch. They sent security guards to stop him, Marcus says. But Elon had thought of that too. He had loyal SpaceX employees block the doors to the launch control room. The scene at SpaceX became chaotic. Board members were shouting at security guards. Lawyers were making phone calls about legal action. News reporters who heard about the situation were rushing to the facility. It was a complete mess, Marcus remembers. But Elon stayed focused on one thing. getting Emma's satellite into space. At 3 p.m., Dr. Wong called with devastating news. Emma had slipped into a coma. Her family was gathering around her bed because the doctors thought she might not wake up. When Elon got that call, everything changed, Marcus says. He wasn't just trying to launch a satellite anymore. He was racing against time to keep a promise to a dying child. Elon made an announcement over the SpaceX intercom system. Everyone who wants to help Emma, stay at your stations. Everyone who wants to side with the board, leave now. Most of the employees stayed. They had heard about Emma over the past few months. They knew this launch was about more than business or money. The launch was scheduled for 4 p.m., Marcus says. But at 3:30, something terrible happened. Tesla's board got a court order to stop the launch. Police officers arrived at SpaceX with legal papers saying the rocket could not be fired. Elon read the court order. Marcus remembers. Then he looked at the police officers and said, "Officers, that little girl is dying right now. This satellite is her last dream. Are you really going to stop a child's dying wish?" The police officers looked uncomfortable. They were just doing their job, but they could see how much this meant to Elon. One of the officers, Sergeant Rodriguez, asked to speak to Elon privately. Marcus says, it turned out his own daughter had cancer. He understood what Elon was trying to do. Sergeant Rodriguez made a decision that saved everything. "Mr. Musk, I'm going to give you 30 minutes to complete your launch. After that, I have to enforce this court order." Elon shook the officer's hand. 30 minutes is all I need." The final countdown began at 3:45 p.m. Elon was in the control room, talking to Emma through a video call that Dr. Wong had set up. Even though Emma was unconscious, Elon wanted her to hear his voice. "Emma, this is for you," Elon said into the camera. "Your satellite is going to see the stars for you. It's going to carry your dreams to space." At exactly 4:15 p.m., the Falcon 9 rocket launched from SpaceX's facility in Texas. Emma's satellite, painted with her name and carrying her message to other sick children, soared into the sky. Everyone in the control room was crying, Marcus says. Even the police officers who were supposed to arrest Elon were cheering. The satellite reached orbit 20 minutes later. Immediately, it began sending back pictures of Earth from space, the view that Emma had always dreamed of seeing. Dr. Wong held her tablet next to Emma's unconscious face. Marcus explains. She showed Emma the pictures of Earth from her satellite. For just a moment, Emma's eyes fluttered open. Emma looked at the pictures of the blue and white planet floating in black space. She smiled the tiniest smile. Then she whispered something that only her mother could hear. "What did she say?" Sarah asks. Marcus wipes his eyes. She said, "It's even more beautiful than I dreamed." Those were Emma Rodriguez's last words. She died peacefully 3 hours later, holding her mother's hand while pictures from her satellite played on the hospital room screen. Elon was arrested. That night, Marcus says, the board had him charged with corporate sabotage and unauthorized use of company property. He spent 2 days in jail. But while Elon was in jail, something amazing happened. The story of Emma's satellite launch spread around the world. This time, the media got it right. People realized what Elon had really done, Marcus explains. He had risked everything, his companies, his freedom, his reputation, to keep a promise to a dying child. The hashtag #EmmaStars started trending on social media. Millions of people shared the story of the brave little girl and the man who loved her enough to defy his own board of directors. When Elon got out of jail, everything had changed, Marcus says. The world finally understood what he had been trying to do. But for Elon, none of that mattered. Emma was gone, and he felt like he had failed her. That's when I knew I had to do something. Marcus tells Sarah, I had caused this whole mess with my betrayal. I had to find a way to make it right. What did you do? I decided to tell the real story. The whole story, even if it meant admitting what I had done wrong. Marcus pauses. But first, I had to convince Elon to forgive me. And that was the hardest thing I'd ever had to do. For 6 months after Emma's death, Marcus Chun tried to disappear. He moved to a small apartment on the east side of Austin. He got a job working security at a shopping mall. He tried to forget about everything that had happened, but he couldn't. Forget Emma's smile. He couldn't forget the way Elon had cried when she died. And he couldn't forget that he was the one who had caused so much pain. Every night, I would dream about Emma, Marcus tells Sarah. I would see her in her astronaut helmet, asking me why I hurt her and Mr. Elon. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was destroying myself with guilt. Marcus's wife Linda was getting better. The cancer treatments that he had paid for with his betrayal money were working, but she could see that Marcus was falling apart. Linda finally asked me what was wrong. Marcus says. I told her everything. About Emma, about the leak, about how I had destroyed the most important thing Elon had ever done. Linda was shocked. She had thought the money came from a bonus at work. When she learned the truth, she made Marcus pack a bag and drive to Elon's house. She said I couldn't live with this guilt anymore. Marcus remembers. She said I had to try to make things right, even if Elon never forgave me. Elon's house in Austin was behind big gates and security cameras. Marcus sat in his car outside for 3 hours, trying to get the courage to ring the doorbell. Finally, I walked up to the gate and pressed the button. Marcus says. A voice came through the speaker asking who I was. I said, "It's Marcus Chun. I need to talk to Elon about Emma." The gates opened immediately. Elon was waiting at his front door. He looked older and thinner than Marcus remembered. His eyes were sad, but not angry. "Hello, Marcus," Elon said simply. "Come in." They sat in Elon's living room. On the coffee table was a framed picture of Emma in her astronaut helmet. Next to it was the crayon drawing she had made of her rocket ship. "I'm sorry," Marcus said, starting to cry. "I'm so sorry for what I did. I destroyed everything. I hurt Emma. I hurt you. I hurt all those kids." Elon was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "Marcus, do you know what Emma asked me the last time we talked?" Marcus shook his head. "She asked me if I was angry at the person who told the reporters about us. She said she hoped I wasn't angry, because angry people can't help other kids." Marcus felt his heart breaking. Even while dying, Emma was worried about other people's feelings. "I told her I wasn't angry anymore," Elon continued. "I told her that sometimes people make mistakes when they're scared. She said that was good, because everyone deserves forgiveness." Elon looked directly at Marcus. "Emma forgave you before she died. How can I do less than a 7-year-old girl?" Marcus cried harder than he had ever cried in his life. "I don't deserve forgiveness. I don't deserve anything. None of us deserve forgiveness," Elon said. "But we need it anyway. That's what Emma taught me." They talked for 4 hours. Marcus told Elon about his wife's cancer and his desperation for money. He explained how the tabloid reporters had twisted his story into something cruel. "I thought they would just write about your charity work," Marcus said. "I never thought they would make you look crazy. I never thought they would hurt the kids." Elon nodded. "The media doesn't care about truth, Marcus. They care about stories that sell. They took something beautiful and made it ugly." "What happened after I was arrested?" Elon continued. "After Emma died, did you see what the world did?" Marcus had seen it. After the real story came out, people around the world had started donating money to children's hospitals. They had started volunteering to help kids with cancer. They had started their own programs to help sick children achieve their dreams. Emma's death changed everything, Elon said. Not because of the satellite launch, but because people saw what love looks like. They saw that one little girl's dream was worth more than all the money in the world. Elon showed Marcus something amazing. He had been getting letters from children all over the world. Kids with cancer were writing to tell him about their dreams. Parents were asking for help. Doctors were requesting funding for new programs. "I've received over 10,000 letters," Elon said. "Every one of them mentions Emma. She's still inspiring people, even after she's gone." But Elon had a secret. Something he hadn't told anyone, not even his closest friends. "After Emma died, I made a decision," Elon said. "I decided to sell most of my Tesla stock. I'm going to use that money to build something that will help millions of kids like Emma." Marcus looked confused. "What are you building?" "A foundation," Elon said. "The Emma Rodriguez Foundation for Children's Dreams. It's going to be the biggest children's charity in the world." Elon explained his plan. The foundation would build special hospitals for kids with cancer. These hospitals would look like spaceships and be filled with virtual reality rooms like the one he had built for Emma. "But that's not all," Elon continued. "I'm also going to start a real space program for kids. Children who beat cancer will get to go to the International Space Station. We're going to make Emma's dream come true for thousands of other kids." Marcus was amazed. "How much money are you putting into this?" $10 billion, Elon said. "It's most of my wealth. But money doesn't matter. Emma matters." All the kids like her matter. Elon had been planning this for months, but he needed help. He needed someone who understood what the foundation was really about. Someone who had seen Emma's courage and Elon's love. "I want you to run the foundation with me, Marcus," Elon said. Marcus was shocked. "Me? But I betrayed you. I destroyed everything." "You made a mistake," Elon replied. "But you made it for love. You were trying to save your wife's life. That's exactly the kind of love this foundation is about." Elon explained that the foundation would need someone who understood what families with sick children go through. Marcus had lived that experience with his wife's cancer. "You know what it feels like to be desperate," Elon said. "You know what it feels like to need help. That's going to make you better at helping other families." Marcus couldn't believe what he was hearing. "You really want me to help run a $10 billion foundation? I want you to help me honor Emma's memory," Elon said. "I want you to help me make sure no child ever has to face cancer alone." But there was one condition. Marcus would have to tell the real story of what happened. He would have to admit his mistakes publicly and explain why he had leaked the information. "The world needs to understand the whole truth," Elon said. "They need to know that good people sometimes make bad choices. They need to know that forgiveness is possible." Marcus agreed immediately. He would tell his story to anyone who would listen. He would admit his betrayal and explain how Elon had forgiven him. "That's when Elon told me about his plan for the big announcement," Marcus says to Sarah. He was going to hold a press conference and tell the world about the Emma Rodriguez Foundation. But first, he wanted people to understand Emma's story. Marcus pulls out his phone and shows Sarah a photo. It's Elon and Marcus standing together in front of a building with a sign that reads Emma Rodriguez Foundation Headquarters. "We've been working together for the past 6 months, Marcus explains. Building the foundation, planning the children's hospitals, designing the space program for kids." Sarah looks at the photo in amazement. "And Elon really forgave you?" "More than that," Marcus says. "He made me his partner. He said that Emma would want us to work together to help other kids." Marcus's voice gets emotional. "Do you know what the hardest part has been? It's not the guilt or the shame. It's living up to Emma's example. She was 7 years old, and she was braver and kinder than most adults." Sarah realizes that this story is bigger than she thought. "Marcus, when is Elon making this announcement?" "Tomorrow," Marcus says. He's calling a press conference at SpaceX headquarters. He's going to announce that he's stepping down as CEO of Tesla and SpaceX to run the foundation full-time. Sarah's eyes widen. He's giving up his companies? He says those companies can run without him now. But kids like Emma need him. He says being a father to sick children is more important than being a businessman. Marcus leans forward. "That's why I'm telling you this story today. Because tomorrow, the world is going to change. People are going to see what real love looks like. They're going to see what Emma's dream has become." Sarah looks at all her notes. "This is incredible, Marcus. But I have to ask, how do I know this is all true? How do I know you're not making this up?" Marcus smiles. "Because I'm going to take you to see it. Right now, I'm going to show you the Emma Rodriguez Foundation. I'm going to show you the space program for kids. I'm going to show you that Emma's dream is real." He stands up from the coffee shop table. "And if you want, you can meet some of the kids we're helping. Kids who are alive today because Emma Rodriguez dreamed of going to Mars." Sarah Williams follows Marcus Chun through the doors of a building she never knew existed. The sign outside reads Children's Research Center, but inside it looks like something from a science fiction movie. "Welcome to the Emma Rodriguez Foundation headquarters," Marcus says as they walk through a lobby filled with rocket models and paintings of planets. "Elon built this 6 months ago. It's where we plan everything." The building is buzzing with activity. Engineers in white coats are working on computer designs. Doctors are reviewing medical charts. Children's laughter echoes from somewhere down the hall. "How many people work here?" Sarah asks, scribbling notes. 200 full-time employees, Marcus replies. "But that's nothing compared to what we're planning. By next year, we'll have over 5,000 people working in 30 different countries." Marcus leads Sarah to an elevator. As they ride up to the 3rd floor, he explains the scope of Elon's secret project. For the past 6 months, while the world thought Elon was taking a break from business, he's been building the largest children's charity in history, Marcus says. "We've been working 18 hours a day to make Emma's dream bigger than anyone imagined." The elevator doors open to reveal a massive room with floor-to-ceiling windows. The walls are covered with architectural plans, medical research papers, and photos of children from around the world. At the center of the room stands Elon Musk, talking animatedly with a group of doctors and engineers. When he sees Marcus and Sarah, he walks over with a smile. "You must be Sarah Williams," Elon says, shaking her hand. "Marcus told me you're writing Emma's story. Thank you for helping us share the truth." Sarah is surprised by how normal Elon seems. After months of news stories calling him unstable, she expected someone different. Instead, she sees a man who looks tired but hopeful. "Mr. Musk, Marcus has told me incredible things about what you're building here," Sarah says. "Can you show me what you're really doing?" Elon's eyes light up. "I'd love to. But first, let me introduce you to someone special." He leads them across the room to where a 12-year-old girl is working at a computer. She's wearing a colorful headscarf and has a big smile on her face. "Sarah, meet Lily Chun," Elon says. "She's one of our program designers." Lily looks up from her computer screen. "Hi, I'm designing a virtual reality program for kids who are scared of getting surgery. Want to see?" Sarah watches as Lily demonstrates her program. Children can put on VR goggles and take a virtual tour of the operating room before their real surgery. They can meet their doctors and nurses in the virtual world, making the real experience less frightening. Lily is a cancer survivor. Marcus explains quietly. She went through the same type of brain surgery that Emma needed. Now she's helping other kids who are scared. Sarah is amazed. "How old were you when you had surgery, Lily?" "I was 9, Lily says matter-of-factly. "It was really scary. But now I know how to help other kids not be scared. That's why Mr. Elon asked me to work here." Elon kneels down next to Lily's chair. "Lily is teaching us that the best way to help sick kids is to listen to kids who have been sick. Adults forget what it feels like to be 9 years old and scared." As they walk through the building, Elon shows Sarah the full scope of the Emma Rodriguez Foundation. There are medical research labs working on new cancer treatments. There are engineering teams designing child-friendly hospital equipment. There are educators creating programs to help sick kids keep up with school. "This is just our headquarters," Elon explains. "We're building Emma Rodriguez children's hospitals in 12 different cities. Each one will have virtual reality rooms, space simulation centers, and the best medical equipment money can buy." Marcus shows Sarah architectural plans for the hospitals. They look like spaceships on the outside, with curved walls and large windows showing stars and planets. Inside, the patient rooms are designed to feel like space stations. "Kids will feel like they're on a mission to Mars while they're getting treatment," Marcus explains. It turns a scary hospital stay into an adventure. But the hospitals are just the beginning of Elon's plan. In a secure room on the 4th floor, he shows Sarah the most ambitious part of the foundation. "This is Project Stardust," Elon says, pointing to a wall covered with spacecraft designs. "We're building a real space program for children." Sarah stares at the plans. "You're really going to send kids to space?" "Not just any kids," Elon explains. "Kids who have beaten cancer. Kids who have faced death and won. They've already proven they're brave enough to be astronauts." The space program includes specially designed spacecraft with extra safety features for young passengers. There are training facilities where kids can learn to be astronauts. There are even plans for a space hotel where children can stay for a week. The first launch is scheduled for next summer, Marcus says. 3 kids will go to the International Space Station for 5 days. They'll conduct experiments and talk to other kids around the world. Sarah shakes her head in amazement. "This is incredible. How much is all of this costing?" "So far, about $3 billion, Elon says casually. "But that's just the start. I'm putting $10 billion total into the foundation. It's most of my net worth." Sarah realizes the magnitude of what she's seeing. "You're giving up being the richest person in the world to help sick children. Money is just numbers on a computer screen," Elon replies. "Emma taught me that. A child's smile is worth more than all the money in the world." They visit the foundation's medical wing, where Dr. Patricia Wong is leading a team of the world's best pediatric cancer doctors. "We're not just treating kids," Dr. Wong explains. "We're researching new ways to cure childhood cancer completely. Emma's death motivated us to work harder than we've ever worked before." Dr. Wong shows Sarah their latest research. They're developing new treatments that are less painful for children. They're working on early detection methods that could save thousands of lives. Emma's tumor was discovered too late, Dr. Wong says. If we had found it 6 months earlier, she might still be alive. We're making sure that doesn't happen to other kids. In another wing of the building, Sarah meets families who are already being helped by the foundation. Maria and Carlos Rodriguez, Emma's parents, are working as family counselors. Mr. Elon asked us to help other families going through what we went through, Maria explains. We know how scary it is when your child has cancer. We know how alone you feel. Carlos adds, every family we help, we tell them about Emma. We tell them that their child is just as special as she was. The Rodriguez family has become the heart of the foundation. They've moved into a house near the headquarters so they can work with families every day. Helping other kids helps us feel close to Emma, Maria says. It makes her death mean something. As the day continues, Sarah realizes that the Emma Rodriguez Foundation is unlike any charity she's ever seen. It's not just giving money to hospitals. It's completely reimagining how sick children are treated. Traditional hospitals are scary places for kids, Elon explains. White walls, strange machines, adults in masks. We're creating healing environments that make kids feel safe and excited. They visit a test hospital room that looks like a spaceship. Cockpit. The bed is designed like a captain's chair. The medical equipment is hidden behind panels that look like spacecraft controls. The ceiling shows a view of Earth from space. Kids who stay in rooms like this recover faster, Dr. Wong explains. When children feel brave and excited, their bodies heal better. But Elon's biggest secret is something he hasn't told anyone except Marcus and Dr. Wong. Something that will shock the world when he announces it tomorrow. Sarah, Elon says as they sit in his office, I want to tell you something that Marcus doesn't even know yet. Marcus looks surprised. What is it, boss? I'm not just stepping down as CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, Elon says. I'm selling my controlling interest in both companies. I'm using that money to expand the foundation to every country in the world. Both Marcus and Sarah stare at him in shock. You're selling Tesla and SpaceX? Marcus asks. I'm keeping small ownership stakes, Elon explains. But I'm giving up control. The money from those sales will fund the foundation for decades. Sarah realizes she's witnessing the biggest business decision in modern history. That has to be worth over $100 billion. 120 billion, actually, Elon says. Enough to build Emma Rodriguez hospitals in every major city on Earth. Enough to cure childhood cancer forever. Elon looks out his office window at the city of Austin. Emma asked me once if I thought there were kids with cancer on other planets. I told her I didn't know. She said if there were, someone should help them too. He turns back to Sarah and Marcus. I may never get to Mars, but I can make sure that every sick child on Earth gets the help Emma never had. Sarah looks at her notes, trying to process everything she's seen and heard. Mr. Musk, when you announce this tomorrow, the world is going to think you've lost your mind. Elon smiles. Maybe I have. Maybe loving a 7-year-old girl so much that you change your entire life is crazy. But if it is, it's the best kind of crazy. Marcus wipes his eyes. Emma would be so proud of what you're doing. Emma is proud, Elon says. I feel her watching over everything we do here. Every child we help, every life we save, it's all for her. As the sun sets over Austin, Sarah realizes she's just witnessed something historic. Tomorrow, Elon Musk will announce the biggest charitable donation in human history. But more than that, he'll announce a new way of thinking about what matters in life. One more thing, Sarah, Elon says as they prepare to leave. When you write this story, please make sure people understand something. What's that? This isn't about me being a hero. This is about Emma being an angel who changed a stubborn billionaire's heart. This is about love being stronger than money, dreams being more important than profits, and hope being the most powerful force in the universe. Sarah nods. I'll make sure they understand. As they walk back to the elevator, Sarah knows that tomorrow's announcement will change the world. But she also knows that the real change already happened in a children's hospital room, when a dying little girl taught the richest man on earth what truly matters. Sarah Williams works all night writing the story that will change everything. At 3 a.m., she sits in her home office in Austin, staring at her computer screen. 12,000 words about Emma Rodriguez and Elon Musk. 12,000 words about love, loss, and redemption. How do you tell a story this big? Sarah wonders aloud. How do you help people understand that a 7-year-old girl changed the world? She thinks about her own daughter Sophie, who is still fighting leukemia. Sophie is sleeping in the next room, wearing the same kind of astronaut helmet hat that Emma used to wear. Tomorrow, Sophie will read about Emma's story and know that she's not alone. Sarah publishes the story online at 6 a.m., 3 hours before Elon's press conference. The headline reads, "Emma's Stars: How a Dying Child's Dream Became the World's Greatest Act of Love." Within minutes, the story spreads across the internet like wildfire. People share it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The hashtag #EmmaStars starts trending worldwide before most people are even awake at 8 a.m. Marcus Chin sits in his small apartment, watching the reactions pour in on social media. His phone hasn't stopped ringing. News channels want to interview him. Reporters want to verify the story. But Marcus only cares about one thing: that people understand the truth about Emma and Elon. His wife Linda reads the story and cries. "Marcus, you did the right thing. Emma would be proud of you for telling her story." At SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California, hundreds of reporters gather for what they think will be a routine business announcement. They have no idea that they're about to witness the most shocking press conference in corporate history. Elon Musk walks onto the stage at exactly 9 a.m. Pacific time. He's wearing a simple black suit and carrying a small rocket ship, the same crayon drawing that Emma made for him 2 years ago. "Thank you for coming," Elon says, his voice quieter than usual. "I have something important to share with you today. Something that will surprise you. Something that will change everything." The room is packed with reporters from CNN, Fox News, BBC, and news outlets from around the world. TV cameras are broadcasting live to billions of people in dozens of countries. 3 years ago, I met a little girl named Emma Rodriguez, Elon begins. She was 7 years old. She had brain cancer. She wanted to go to Mars before she died. The reporters start scribbling notes. Some have already read Sarah's story, but many haven't. They're about to learn about Emma for the first time. "Emma died 2 years ago." Elon continues, his voice breaking slightly. "But before she died, she taught me the most important lesson of my life. She taught me that helping one child is more valuable than all the rockets and cars in the world." Elon tells Emma's story from the beginning. He talks about her drawings and her dreams. He explains the secret hospital visits and the virtual reality rooms. He describes her final words about Earth being more beautiful than I dreamed. As he speaks, photos of Emma appear on screens around the room. Emma in her astronaut helmet. Emma drawing pictures of Mars. Emma smiling despite her illness. Emma holding Elon's hand in her hospital bed. "Emma changed me," Elon says. "She showed me what real courage looks like. She showed me what unconditional love means. She showed me that no dream is too big if it comes from the heart." The reporters are completely silent now. Some are wiping tears from their eyes. This isn't the business announcement they expected. "Today, I'm announcing the creation of the Emma Rodriguez Foundation," Elon continues. "This foundation will build children's hospitals around the world. It will fund cancer research. It will send young cancer survivors to space. And it will make sure no child ever faces illness alone." The room starts buzzing with excitement. This is big news. But Elon isn't finished. "I'm putting $10 billion into this foundation," he says. But that's not all. Elon pauses and looks directly into the cameras. "I'm also stepping down as CEO of Tesla and SpaceX. I'm selling my controlling interest in both companies. I'm using that money, over $100 billion, to expand the Emma Rodriguez Foundation to every country on Earth." The room explodes. Reporters are shouting questions. Camera flashes are going off like strobe lights. This is the biggest business story in decades. "Mr. Musk," shouts a reporter from CNBC, "are you really giving up the companies you built to run a charity?" "I'm not giving them up," Elon replies calmly. "I'm setting them free to grow without me. Tesla and SpaceX have amazing teams that can succeed without my daily involvement. But sick children need someone to fight for them every day. That someone is going to be me." "But why?" asks a reporter from the Wall Street Journal. "Why give up everything you've worked for?" Elon holds up Emma's drawing. "Because a 7-year-old girl with brain cancer cared more about helping other kids than she did about her own problems. Because she taught me that love is the only thing that really matters. Because I promised her that her dream would never die." The questions keep coming. Reporters want to know about the foundation's plans. They want to know how it will work. They want to know if Elon has lost his mind. Some of you think I'm crazy, Elon says with a small smile. You think I'm having a breakdown. You think I'm making a mistake. But let me tell you what crazy really looks like. He clicks a button, and new images appear on the screens. Pictures of the Emma Rodriguez Foundation headquarters. Photos of Lily Chun and other young cancer survivors working on projects. Videos of virtual reality rooms where kids are exploring space while getting cancer treatment. Crazy is building hospitals that look like spaceships so kids aren't scared of getting treatment. Crazy is sending cancer survivors to the International Space Station. Crazy is believing that every child's dream matters, no matter how impossible it seems. Elon's voice gets stronger. If that's crazy, then I'm proud to be crazy. A reporter from CNN asks, Mr. Musk, what would Emma think about what you're doing? Elon is quiet for a moment. When he speaks, his voice is soft but clear. Emma would want me to tell you about a little boy named Jake. He's 8 years old. He has the same type of brain cancer Emma had. Yesterday, he wrote me a letter asking if he could help design spaceships for other sick kids. Elon pulls out a piece of paper. Jake wrote, Mr. Elon, I know Emma is watching from the stars. I think she would want us to help more kids like us. Can I be your helper? The room is completely silent now. That's what Emma would think, Elon says. She would want us to help Jake and thousands of other kids like him. She would want us to turn every hospital into a place of hope instead of fear. She would want us to prove that love is stronger than cancer. As the press conference ends, the world reacts with amazement. Social media explodes with messages of support. Hashtag #EmmaStars becomes the top trending topic in every country. Videos of the press conference are viewed millions of times within hours, but not everyone is happy. Some Tesla and SpaceX investors are angry about losing their visionary leader. Stock prices drop initially as people worry about the company's futures. It's the biggest gamble in business history, says a financial analyst on CNBC. Elon Musk is betting everything on love. Only time will tell if it pays off. However, something amazing starts happening. Other billionaires begin announcing their own charitable donations. Tech executives pledge money for children's hospitals. Movie stars start visiting cancer wards. The hashtag #EmmaStars movement grows bigger than anyone imagined. 3 days after the press conference, something incredible happens. Tesla and SpaceX stock prices start rising. Investors realize that the company's employees are more motivated than ever. They're proud to work for organizations that helped inspire the world's greatest act of charity. Elon leaving actually made us stronger, says a Tesla engineer in an interview. We're not just building cars anymore. We're part of Emma's legacy. We're helping prove that business can be about more than profit. At Dell Children's Medical Center, Dr. Patricia Wong watches the news coverage with tears in her eyes. Emma would be so proud, she tells the nurses. She always believed that love could change the world. Now everyone can see she was right. Maria and Carlos Rodriguez are overwhelmed by the response to their daughter's story. People from every continent send them messages of support. Children with cancer write letters saying Emma inspired them to be brave. Our little girl's dream of going to Mars became something even bigger, Maria says in a TV interview. It became a dream of healing the whole world. Marcus Chin watches everything unfold from his apartment in Austin. He gets hundreds of calls from reporters wanting to interview him. Some call him a hero for revealing the truth. Others call him a traitor for initially betraying Elon's trust. I'm not a hero, Marcus tells Sarah when she calls to check on him. Emma was the hero. Elon is the hero. I'm just someone who learned that it's never too late to do the right thing. 6 months later, the first Emma Rodriguez Children's Hospital opens in Austin. It looks exactly like a spaceship with curved walls and windows showing stars. The patient rooms feel like space stations. The treatment areas look like mission control centers. The day it opens, Lily Chun cuts the ribbon. She's now 13 and cancer-free. This hospital is for every kid who dreams of the stars, she says. Emma started this dream, but we're all going to finish it. Standing in the crowd, Sarah Williams watches with her own daughter Sophie. Sophie's cancer is in remission now, thanks partly to new treatments funded by the Emma Rodriguez Foundation. Mommy, do you think Emma can see this? Sophie asks. Sarah looks up at the bright blue Texas sky. Yes, sweetheart. I think she can see everything, and I think she's smiling. Elon Musk stands at the back of the crowd, trying not to be noticed. He's wearing jeans and a t-shirt that says Emma's Stars. In his hand, he holds the same crayon drawing Emma made for him 3 years ago. A reporter spots him and asks, "Mr. Musk, do you ever regret giving up Tesla and SpaceX?" Elon looks at the spaceship hospital filled with laughing children. He watches young cancer patients exploring virtual Mars while getting their treatments. He sees hope replacing fear in the eyes of scared parents. Regret. Elon says quietly, "I've never been prouder of anything in my life. Emma taught me that the only thing worth building is love. The only thing worth achieving is hope. The only legacy that matters is the lives you save." As the celebration continues, a little girl with no hair walks up to Elon. She's wearing an astronaut helmet just like Emma used to wear. "Are you the man who knew Emma?" she asks. "Yes," Elon says, kneeling down to her level. "I was lucky enough to be her friend." The little girl smiles. "My name is Grace. I have brain cancer just like Emma did. But I'm not scared anymore because I know you're going to help me get better." Elon feels tears rolling down his face. "What's your dream, Grace?" "I want to be a doctor," Grace says. "I want to help kids like me, just like Emma would have done." "Then that's what we'll make happen," Elon promises. That's what Emma would want. As the sun sets over Austin, Sarah Williams finishes typing the final words of her follow-up story. She's covered Emma's legacy for a year now, watching it grow from one man's love for a dying child into a worldwide movement of hope. The story ends with Emma Rodriguez's own words, written in purple crayon in a letter that changed the world. "Dear Mr. Elon, when I go to the stars, I want other kids to know they can go there too. Love, Emma." Today, thanks to a 7-year-old girl's dream and a billionaire's broken heart, other kids do know they can reach the stars. Emma's dream didn't die with her. It grew into something bigger than anyone imagined. It grew into love that changed the world that we'd love to know. Where are you listening from today? Drop a comment below and let us know your city or country. It's amazing to think that Emma's story is reaching people all around the world, just like she always dreamed of reaching the stars. If this story touched your heart, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring true stories that celebrate the power of human kindness and resilience. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. In a world that often feels divided, stories like Emma's remind us that love, hope, and compassion are universal languages that unite us all. By sharing her story, you're helping spread awareness about childhood cancer and the importance of never giving up on our dreams. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey. Until next time, remember, no dream is too big when it comes from the heart. Keep reaching for the stars.